everybody for coming. We are going to have the chat feature up and running the whole time for questions. You can use the Q&A function. You can use the chat function, whatever you like. Margot, good to see you. Heck yeah. Awesome. Margot, we just did a really cool highlight of the event that you did with Rossi Moriali. Your last event where you absolutely hit it out of the park, or he hit it out of the park with the live auction. So we just highlighted it. Oh, cool. Yeah. Thank you. That was awesome. So love the work that you all do. Good to see you, Margot. And Sandy's going to hit us with some questions. There were some great pre-submitted questions. That's something you can do every week, as a matter of fact. Pre-submitted questions when you register. And then, of course, any questions that become top of mind as we're discussing it. You've got the most prolific mind in fundraising, the most brilliant fundraiser I've ever met. Just happens to be the co-founder of HGA Fundraising. Yes, sir, it's you. And he wore his special purple tie today, so thank you. And I'm here to maybe put some punctuation on some stuff, and I usually come out of left field. But with that being said, it's good to see everybody. Yeah, here we go. Okay, first question. From Shelly, I would like to talk about new ideas in fundraising. We host one gala and 2 golf events. We are a small nonprofit in a competitive nonprofit area. I would love to hear different ideas that get people excited. And Shelly, if you're here, please say what's up. And it's good to see you if you are. And thanks for the question.
I'm gonna jump off for this. This is something that has come up forever. Okay, Everybody always comes up. There's a few things that everybody says. Everybody says I'm a small nonprofit. Okay. And I mean this very, very respectfully. You know what the average size of a nonprofit average revenue of a nonprofit in the United States is?
Hit us.
Anybody got a guess? $250,000. $250,000 is the average revenue of a nonprofit in the United States, which is remarkable when you think about that, because everybody thinks, oh, they're raising millions and doing all this, that, and the other. And most everybody's just like, so if you're above that, you're above average. So I'm just saying,
Cool.
Number 2, everybody says they're competitive. Everything's competitive.
It's the word.
Every place that you go is going to be competitive. Okay. And, the third thing is something new and exciting. Everything, it's not about whether it's new, it's just whether it's exciting. And I think that's a really good question, because the question is, and what happens is a lot of people will go down a path. There's fads and there's trends. And I think it's really important, especially if you're fundraising in the nonprofit space. And think about it. You got 3 events that you really can't have a mistake. You really can't have, this is one of those things. Like, I'll give you a great example. A few years ago, everybody was saying the live auction's dead. Nobody wants to do a live auction. We're just going to do a fund to need. Okay. And, we saw what happened, and a lot of people started doing it, and their fund to need, they had a really good one, and then it started going down, because all of a sudden they didn't have anything to change the temperature. There wasn't something that could shock and move it up and down. Great auctioneers. Okay. Whenever you talk about fundraising, great auctioneers, they're able to change the temperature in the room. They take it from a high back, bring it back down, take it back up. It's like going to a concert. No, everybody, they sing the banging song, and then they sing the love song, and then they sing the exciting song, and then they do it. So you're trying to move it up and down. That's how entertainment is. And so you want to have some changes in temperature. So I think whenever somebody says different ideas, they're like, we had several years ago, we had something on this, a whole webinar on different ways to raise money. And there were like, I think we had a book of like 55 of them. And we went through maybe 10 or 15. Yeah. We had Mark West on, one of our guys, come on and do it. Yeah. And the reality is they're all the same stuff. It's all the same way. It's just branded a little bit different. We call it this, you call it a heads or tails. You call it paddle drop, you call it, wine pull, all these different things. But it's about making it exciting. I think the number one thing that you can do is tie everything back to the mission. I think whenever you're raising money, when you're fundraising and you're doing something, you're letting people know what their donation is going to do. Mm-hmm. That's where the magic happens. Yeah. They're making an investment. They're not your donor. You just happen to be one of their charities. I heard that line the other day. It was so good.
Let me interrupt you really quick, because when you're talking about tying everything in the mission, we're still going to keep with the. I also hear you saying stick with the fundamentals, right? As
Yes,
well,
that's
and
basically
I
that's where I'm
believe in
going.
novelty. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe. I'm hearing you say that. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
Mhm.
But another thing I hear you saying as well is you hear this buzz term a lot, and I'm not saying it's not buzzworthy, but you hear transparency. I've heard you say tie it back to the mission
Mhm.
eloquently a million times about something at an event, a conversation, an email, a phone call, tie it back to the mission. I'm also thinking, and I want you to expand on this a little bit too, is like, okay, if you already think you do a good job of that, do more, right? Because that
Yeah.
transparency, where the money's going, yes, it's the same 3 events a year, but let me tell you even more, and just being
Mhm.
more proactive and more quote unquote transparent about the work that the successes, big, small, or indifferent. And another thing, Shelly, here's a nudge: if you're a small shop, what's wrong with telling people that? Like, we're a family business.
Yeah.
We tell people that all the time. Like, I think being
Mhm.
very forthcoming is not necessarily new. But that being said, I have something also I want to bring up. I want to bring up about a new idea. But please go on if you have
Well, I
anything.
want to just tie it back to the mission. I want to give you an example of what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
sure.
This is just a generic one to use. We send kids with cancer to camp. Okay. So that's what we do. Last year we sent 100 kids. This year we're going to send 125 kids. Next year we're going to send 150. It costs $1,000 to send a kid to camp. We need to raise $125,000. So for every $1,000, so we're going to play a game right now, and it's whatever it is, and um, so we need 4 people. Every time we do a wine pull, and we're going to do the wine pulls, $250.
Yeah,
Then there's going to be a number at the bottom of the wine bottle, and we're all going to look at it, and we're going to turn it over at the second. I'm going to draw a name, call the number, and if you're the number, you're going to get a trip to Napa. And we've only got 100 of them. So instead of maybe the wine pull before raised $3,000, this year we did it and it raised 25,000.
yeah,
And because we're thinking about it differently and we're tying it to the mission. And every time that fourth one sold, oh my gosh, we just got another kid to camp. Every time we got another kid to camp, and we tie it back to those things and making it so that way we're doing it. I believe in
love it.
having fun. I think you got
Yeah,
Rossi. We were talking about Rossi. Rossi brought it up for a great point. It's like seeing a really deep movie.
yeah.
It's really powerful, emotional. It's very, very deep. Boy, that was a great movie, but I'm not really ready for that emotional
You're hesitant
deal.
to go back there. Yeah, yeah,
You need to have that emotional moment in your event, but it's also got to be fun.
yeah.
If you're just super serious and we're
Memorable.
really going to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where I'm trying to answer it in a way that
No, you gave a good.
without trying to
You gave
go
a good
down a list
example.
of, hey, have you tried this idea,
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter what the idea, it's the execution of it is what's going to matter.
you're talking about
Yeah.
not being gimmicky
Yeah.
as
And
well.
what, the other thing I see a trend, or I've seen a trend happening, and it's a bad one.
Mhm.
More is not more.
Explain.
More people in your event is not more money. More people in your event does not mean more impact. People in your event does not mean that you're going to get more. It's the right people. There's an organization I used to be a part of, I worked with for a long time, and they, had 300 or 400 people that would show up at their event, raise a whole lot of money. A few years later, I found that they were up to like 600 people, 700 people were raising less money.
Yeah.
Because everybody that had show up, they thought that, volume was going to move it, but they had a bunch of eaters and drinkers and not people that were givers and doers. And I think that's really important that you keep those things in mind.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up something tactical that I can't stop thinking about. I'm also going to tease. I'm going through my notes. We're going to have Dave Raley on March 19th on the Hey Nonprofits webinar. And he's the author of the Sustainable Giving, the Subscription Economy, and recurring giving, monthly giving proponent, big time. I'm a huge believer in this. I'm a huge believer in the long tail of monthly giving, of recurring giving. I'm a huge believer. So it's just kind of new, Shelly. I'm just putting a little punctuation on this question so we can get to the other ones as well. The idea of tying it into your fund of need, tying it, your paddle raise fund of need portion of your event, tying it to a golden ticket or the wine pull that Jason mentioned, where if you give at the $250 level, someone that, couldn't give, obviously, $3,000, for instance, night of, but they can give $250 the night of and $250 monthly, tying a monthly giving or recurring giving branded. I'm hearing some really great feedback about the fact that it needs to be a branded program. Giving folks the opportunity to do that night of, recognizing them, and then recognizing them at the subsequent events as well to get folks.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So folks can see, oh, geez, they're part of the program. And then I've once again, I'm on a little bit of a soapbox about this monthly giving piece at events. And it was because we had Dave on already, months ago, and mentioned to us because he witnessed it at an event where someone gave the $250 level. The data suggests that person's going to end up giving $10,000 over time, okay, as a monthly donor. It all started at the event. It all started with the emotion at the event and tying it into that gift, and nowhere to go but up. So I really want to shine a light on that and get folks thinking about offering those monthly giving opportunities, branded community, building it around, experiences for folks. Once you're a part of that program, that monthly giving program, then you get invited to specific events that highlight your mission even more, and tying it back, of course, right? So really, really good stuff there. So I love that. I love the monthly giving piece. So,
hey,
good.
Johnny Bravo, brother, it's about it's telling the story, why we're here, what we're doing. And that's where Johnny's one of them. You take the emotions, get everybody fired up, excited, then you bring it back home and you have that emotional moment and you get excited. It just creates that. Hey, Diana had made a comment and she said, isn't important for executive management and board of directors to be very proactive and available, interacting with the donors, attendees of the event. I'm going to tell you what I suggest to every executive director I've ever worked with, CEO, whatever you want to call them, at every event. I tell them, your job is not to do anything but walk around, shake hands, and kiss babies at the event. That's it. That's it. If you're caught up in the operation of the event, you're missing out on such a big, and I know that there's sometimes that people miss out and they don't understand, they don't get it. But this is it means something. It means something whenever the executive director walks over to your table and says, hey, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Wow. I just think, or somebody with a board director, they walk over, hey, I'm Jason. I'm on the board, currently on the board. And I just want to say, it just means the world to us to have you guys come here. That is amazing thing to happen, because those conversations are where relationships are started. Those relationships are growing. We talk about in the fundraising world, it's not what you know, it's who you know, because it's true. It's relationship.
People give to people they like.
Yeah. So much of this is relationship driven. And I just would encourage you, if you're an executive director, and if you're a director of, the director of development or something, you need to have your executive director, CEO, you need to say, look, I've got it. You don't need to do anything. We've got it all done. You're free to go. Go and you do this. We'll find volunteers. We'll get staff. We'll have people. And I know there's a lot of people go, well, we're small. We don't have enough people. Find a volunteer. You can do that, where you can free yourself up to go around and just thank people.
Love it.
Choose.
Becky, I love it. Well, great point and great feedback, Diana. Thank you so much. Becky, love to see that you're planning on having a monthly donor promotion on our bid paddles at our next event, like QR code technology. I haven't even mentioned this to the team yet. I haven't even mentioned it to Jason yet. I've got this pipe dream to put together a monthly recurring golden ticket, where it's just your monthly recurring program in a box. Here you go, buy a golden ticket and you automatically sign up. Or at checkout, you have the option to sign up at a higher level. Got a lot of ideas floating around about this. We're on to something. Stay tuned. I want
to talk about this real quick. I want to use this really quick. This is something I think is really important, and I want to get to the questions.
Yeah, we got two more.
Because you've got this group of people who, number one, they've paid to come to your event. They care about your event. They want to be there. They care about the mission, or they've been brought by somebody who does. There is something powerful. That's why we do these, because there's a powerful thing that happens with a group of people coming together. That's whenever you want to make the ask. That's why we say, do the fund a need. Guys, y'all may not realize this. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, no one did it. No one did a fund a need. They didn't. They got up and auctioned some stuff off, and that was it. And all of a sudden now everybody's doing it. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we got to do a fund to need, which is phenomenal. The reason it works is because people are there. They see action. They want to be a part of it. Who else here is going to give $5,000? And you got somebody raise their hand and somebody else raise their hand and somebody else, because they get encouraged by doing that. They want to be a part of the win. They want to be a part of a winning team. That's why everybody stands up and cheers at a basketball game when their team's winning, or a football game. Everybody wants to be a part of a win. So these are really great opportunities. This is the phenomenal. There's so much potential in these events that you can do.
Let me expand on that even further. How about just the idea that when you get someone sign up for a branded monthly campaign, that it gives you another opportunity to reach out to them and show you what you're doing, show them what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
another newsletter opportunity, another phone call opportunity to thank someone for signing up for the $100, $250, whatever level monthly campaign. I've heard folks do it in different ways: $600 annually, $250 a month, $150, whatever it might be.
Well, remember we have a friend that she started a program. I think they were doing like $4,000 a month or a year or something, like in recurring, and
600,000
to 600 grand.
600,000.
And everybody that was
thank you cards.
Everyone that was on the monthly giving program was an insider.
Yes.
They got special information. Yes. They're insiders. Yes. They got all the things. They got this. It didn't matter what level it was. They just got so they got to be a part of something really special. So
tell me that's not how consumers respond in the real world. Donors are consumers at the end of the day. That's what people respond to with for-profit companies. If you like wearing a certain trail running shoe and you buy the same one and you become an insider and you get special access to, the sponsored athletes that are running with that shoe, the same one that you... Tell me that's not how the world operates right now anyway. Like I said, I'm on a soapbox with this monthly giving thing. I think it's awesome. We have more questions. I want to get to them. Like I said, just another opportunity to reach out to people as well. So cool. All right, Tamara, thanks so much. We're hosting a retirement celebration for a co-founder, and you're the new ED. Tips for making it a successful fundraiser for our organization. We're already planning a vacation station, awesome, and a golden ticket. Branded HGA vacation station and golden ticket. That's awesome. But how can we leverage the love for her lifetime of service into donations? Wow. That's a really cool thing. It sounds like a special event. Really, really cool. Jay?
I think that what you could do, there's a couple of ways you could do this, is you could say, we're going to call this the something gift. If you want to put this, I don't know what you do. Is this just going to be something for something specific? Like a lot of times people will do something for a scholarship. They'll do something for a special grant. They'll tie it to something that maybe really meant something to that executive director. Obviously, you can tie it where it goes to the general fund. I'm not suggesting it doesn't. But I think just whenever you do something and you say, we're going to do this in this person's name, and we're going to we're going to do a special fund to need. We're going to do a special event. We're going to do something very specific that would honor them. I believe that would be thoughtful, that people would react, especially for somebody that they know. Mm-hmm. I think, having them there and if their people love them. We've got a friend of ours, that just recently, she was at a place for 25 years and she left. And she retired. Yeah. And they did something like this, and it was a deal. Now I will tell you this, to go on past that, it does change things, because you've got new management, new people coming in. They're trying to make it their own and not rely on the person. Yeah. She's worked in the disability field for 40 years. I absolutely think, we're going to do something special. Hey, let me give you an idea. Let me tell you something you could do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something. We're going to do a special raffle, but there's only going to be one winner. We're going to take up a deal. We're all going to see who all here would be willing to put $100 in the deal. And when we get done, we're going to raise money for this, and then we're going to send Tamara on a trip.
Yeah.
Okay. Or we'll do something like that. I just think that's kind of a cool thing that would be neat that you could do.
Totally.
To do something like that.
Absolutely. A gift like that would be a send-off gift would be awesome. It's going to sound silly, Tamara. I think that you should take the opportunity to have people there, making sure that you get as many pictures with your founder as possible, and you make sure that you email folks those images post-event and say thank you. So I think it's massive. Oh, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful, Tamara. I love that.
Nice.
I think it's great. What a special person. I'd like to get to know more about her. That'd be awesome. I appreciate that. I hope that helps as well. Let's see here. We got a question for you. Hey, Johnny, I see Johnny. Do us a favor. Johnny's a partner and a friend of HGA's and of Hey Nonprofits.
Mhm.
Johnny, do us a favor. Throw your email or your website
I
link.
think he put his LinkedIn, didn't he?
Well, perfect. And then I
Yeah.
want folks to be able to reach out to Johnny if they have any questions. Johnny's
Mhm.
out of Houston, Texas. And also Matt Robin, the Kilted Auctioneer. Okay, cool. He's got his LinkedIn profile there too. And I just want to go ahead and say this. We're going to be doing a 5-part series about the perfect auction timeline, live auction, the amount of live auction items you should have, condensed program, all of these things, how to maximize the night of. 5-part series. It's going to be a panel discussion every time. Matt and Johnny, would be awesome if you all did it together. So here's your invite. And I got a couple dates that we need to lock down. So
Yeah.
I'm going to invite Matt Robin, another partner and friend of HGA's, and Johnny. If we get you both on at the same time, I think it'd be awesome. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Let's do it. I think that'd be great, man. So very, very cool. Thank you very much, guys. All right, cool. And it's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming. Appreciate you. But we'll do that. The panel discussion, I think, will be awesome. Okay, I have another question for you, my brother. From Chandra. What suggestions do you have? Hi, Chandra. What suggestions do you have for how a small nonprofit that is ready to invest in hiring a fundraising professional might find a great fit? Someone with the right skills for the most effective fundraising for their particular organization at the stage of growth it's in. Great question. Who is also mission aligned, of course. In other words, how can we take this major step with reasonable confidence that the ROI will prove it to have been a wise and prudent thing to do? This sounds like a
Okay.
longer conversation, Chandra, that we could have off
Yeah.
air as well. I don't know, Chandra, I don't know if you've already met with Jason on a coaching call, but you're welcome to do that, to spend a little bit more time, because this is a very nuanced and very, very, very important decision, obviously, as well. But Jay, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you the very first thing that you need to do before you ever try to hire a person is understand what that outlook is. What is the outcome that you're wanting to have happen?
Great call. Great
The
call.
number one issue that I've personally witnessed, I've personally been around with directors, somebody saying we're going to hire a director of development, we're going to hire a fundraising professional, is they go hire somebody and they say, okay, go out and raise us some money.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a plan. There's not an outline. There's not a specific. They just say, well, you need to go out here and raise us $1 million. And I literally talked to the people in that situation. The second thing that you got to do is you got to understand you can't take somebody new, bring them in, put them in a box, not give them any access to anyone, and tell them just to go get new people. The way that fundraising works, the way that nonprofits grow is relationship driven. So I'm going to give you an example, what not to do.
Okay.
You don't bring somebody in and say, okay, you're going to go out here and raise this money, but you can't talk to any of all the people we have belong to me. All of our donors are my donors. You can't talk to any of them.
Nope.
Well, you've basically just cut both their arms off and both their legs off, threw them out in the middle of the street and said, run before you get ran over. Because there's no way for them to build relationships to understand who, identify the who. They're better off just going out and, you're limited them to go knocking on doors. And that's just not any way. The way it is not what you know, it's who you know. And what we want to do is allow that person to leverage the people that we already know into more people that they know. And that way we build on those relationships.
You want new donors, focus on the ones that you already have.
Yeah. So that's one of the number one things. You've got to have that open mind. And also it's going to take 6 months to a year before you're going to see a significant return on investment.
Good call.
Period. Good call. If it's faster than that, great, but you've got to go into it knowing that that's going to happen. And you've got to have clear benchmarks of execution, not dollar signs. If you put it only on money, how much money they bring in, you're going to find yourself in because it's hard to measure that, because they may be doing great work, bringing great things in, building great relationships, but it just hasn't turned the key. Like when we have somebody come to work at Art, we know that they're probably not going to do anything for 6 months. It's because it takes that long.
Ramp up period,
understand the process to get things going, to the timing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would just say, number one, have a well thought out process of what expectation, understand what that is, because then you've got this thing. So then you can bring somebody in and you can tell them what the expectation is as you're going through the hiring process.
Yep.
This is what the expectation is. This is what we're looking for. Because, you could find the best person in the world, but if you don't have a great framework for them to work within, if you don't have something that's executionable like that, they will fail.
Yep.
Absolutely. They will fail every time. And we've seen it, haven't we, Trevor?
Sandy, do me a favor. We had James Meisner on the podcast months ago from the Kipos group. Awesome guy. He talks about leadership in fundraising in the nonprofit in the entire country. He's an expert. Check him out on LinkedIn, James Meisner, Misner. But you can also watch the episode we did with him. We just had him on the webinar. He does a great breakdown of what you should look for in a new hire for someone like this in development, Chandra, and what you should absolutely avoid. So definitely, and Sandy, if you can find that episode on, obviously it's a podcast, I know you can, and throw that in the chat, Chandra, it'd be a great listen, and share it with someone else that might be in, the same position that you are. Jason, we had this conversation last week. And we were kind of like, I was like afraid to put all my eggs in one basket and call it the number one skill set for fundraising. And I honestly, for life in general and a lot of things and relationships and all this stuff. And I said, well, for right now, we're just going to shelve it as the top 3 skill set. And we came up, our big thing is consistency. Our big thing, and it might be number 1. And I really, really, really mean that. I read something really interesting that overnight successes take 10 years. That was wild. It stuck with me. Consistency trumps everything. You've told me that. Consistency trumps talent, flashes in the pan, all that. So what I'm saying when I mention consistency in a general sense, Chandra, is find ways that you can really tell if this person that you're going to hire is consistent. Have they left a bunch of gigs? Of course, life happens and you have to leave. You have to move, spouse, kids, whatever. Okay. I get that. But if they've ran the course, so to speak, if they put the work in, once again, it's going to take consistency and obviously focusing on relationships to be a great fundraiser. Have they been consistent up until this point? And I'm not trying to thumbs down anyone who's just trying to get in the space and whatnot, because I was.
Well, the thing is, there's so many nuances to that, because nowadays, where somebody used to be at a company for 10, 15 years, that was like, oh, now, I mean, look at a resume. Somebody's they're 23 years old and had 9 jobs. That's not because they're the bad person. It's just the way it is now. Nobody's. Totally. It's just we're in a different time. But to your point, you can still find those things about consistency, and yes. That's what we say over and over. Consistency over time, consistent effort over time brings the greatest rewards. 3 phone calls a day. If every nonprofit on here would add 3 phone calls a day to reach out to donors, you'll raise an extra $100,000. I don't know that to be true. I'm just saying I believe that you'd raise an extra $100,000 over and above anything else just because you're talking to people.
Well, we talked about it, recently too, 3 calls a day, that's 15 a week. That's give and take 60 a month. We're talking about 700 plus conversations a year with folks that you want to work with, folks that you already do work with, folks that you have the opportunity to thank, all that good. I think it's just great. I think it's great. Yeah. Hey, we had another question that I missed. I want to get to you, or I want to get to, boom, boom, boom. Hang tight real quick. And then another call for questions, folks. There was one that I missed that was really, really good, unless I'm not thinking straight. Hold tight. Okay. Hang tight real quick. Okay, Diana had a follow-up question. Is it true that benefits that charge a fee at invite donate less at the event? Live auction, silent auction, donations during and post-event. Do you need more context for that?
Let me go back and see. I want to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be rude and skip it. But is it true that benefits events that charge a fee at invite donate less? The folks that are coming donate less at the event, like in the live auctions.
Well, I find that to be the opposite. I think the more people if they got to pay to show up, which they need to pay to show up, give more money.
Yeah. Diana,
it's just a fact. We can pull statistics. If it's, if you've got the $10,000 tables and $15,000 and $25,000 and $30,000 tables, $100,000 tables always raise more money than the ones that are selling them for
They have, well,
1,500.
great
Yeah.
book. Great
Yeah.
book. They have skin in the game. It's a
Yeah.
great book. Oh my God, Skin in the Game is so good. We were talking about shows earlier. I was going to talk about books. So good. It's a scorcher. Okay, got you, Diana. Yeah, hey, Diana, if you want to dive into this deeper with Jason and do a coaching session, please do. Diana was talking about hiring, it looks like. Personally, I feel someone with passion and motivated for the cause is key, of course. Also, people with varied backgrounds can show they can step in and take things on. Entrepreneurial spirit, I wouldn't prejudge. Absolutely makes total sense, Diana. I appreciate that. Another thing, there's a moniker, the curious generalist. You know what I mean? I think folks that are curious, that are willing to take chances, that aren't, that don't have call reluctance. There's tons of info out there right now that's circling around because we spend a lot of time on LinkedIn about just the confidence that folks are lacking to pick up the phone and talk to people, new donors, existing donors, all that good stuff. They ask for more, all these things. I would like to understand a little bit more as the psychology is. I have a hunch that I think folks are probably spending too much time on the internet and not spending enough time caring for themselves and filling their own cups up. Frankly, that's a very short answer to a big issue. But yeah. Oh, great. I want to talk
I want to
about,
say something about the whole thing about getting people. I'm an
about hiring
entrepreneur.
people?
Trevor's an
hiring
entrepreneur.
people?
Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur. Trevor's an entrepreneur. I would never hire me.
Yeah, we're not hireable.
I would never hire.
That
We're not
character.
hireable because
I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
Diana.
there's some entrepreneurial traits.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That whole thing, just what I talked about, consistency and all that stuff, is a real struggle for me. I've been doing this for a long time, and it is something that I struggle with very, very hard because I see that shiny new thing and I want to go over there and chase it.
Totally.
And so, yeah,
I
can tell you right now, the best fundraisers I've ever met in my life are kind of boring. They really are.
Salespeople too.
Yeah, they're just big. And you'd sit there and go, how in the world is that person the number one? Because they just don't stop. They just don't. They're relentless.
We're obviously on this one because we really, really enjoy the idea of bringing good people on because we've been so blessed in our organization with great people. So fortunate. I believe another great trait is thoughtfulness. I think that, people being hospitable, and you can just see that. I mean, go out and, hey, another thing, Chandra, go out in public with the people that you're thinking about hiring, or bringing on board and seeing how they operate around other people they've never met before and things like that. You can get a pretty good read on people too and see how thoughtful they are and hospitable, hospitality minded they are as well. And that's thoughtfulness personified, right? And how you made other people feel. A big believer in that. Yeah.
And the thing is, the smaller organization that you are, the harder it is, the more critical it is.
That you don't make a mistake with this hire.
Because
right?
You can't make a mistake. I had a guy call me one time and he goes, hey man, I've got to let somebody go. Well, I knew he only had 4 employees. And I said, yeah, because a lot of people would sit there and go, well, you got no problem. Just go 4 employees. What if you have 100? Well, if you got 100, you can fire somebody, and it's not going to change your whole world.
25% of your workforce.
25% of your workforce is gone all of a sudden. Yeah. So when you're a small organization and you bring somebody on, it's a big deal. Because it's such a big lift, that you're all of a sudden you're, effectively raising your, your payroll by 20-25%. That's a big jump. That is a huge deal. And that's why it's so critical.
We love this kind of stuff, Chandra. I'd be happy to spend some time with you. I've got like little things like that about going out in public and things that I appreciate about people. This is becoming more of a people exercise, stealing the name of your exercise that you do with boards and committees, Jay. But what else was I going to say?
Well, I just want to mention, Matt said the same thing. He goes, hands down, best fundraiser I know is a quiet guy who just continues to make phone calls and offers people the opportunity to support the organization. It's consistency, just consistency over time.
I love that.
We're talking a lot about this and we're doing this. So I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
One of the things this is a general question. I'm just kind of asking because this has been coming up in a lot of coaching sessions lately. Who here in your upcoming fundraisers or whatever have raised your level of sponsorship significantly? When I say significantly, I mean like $5,000, $10,000 from the, or maybe doubled the deal. We don't have a poll or anything to do this with, but how many of y'all have done that? Anybody here that's asking for more money than what you have in the past? maybe your ticket to come, for a pair of tickets was $250 and you've raised it to 500. Anybody do anything like that?
It's good data to know. Absolutely.
I'm just curious.
Yep. Good stuff. What was I going to say? I want to get to another question. We'll wait for the answers, Jay.
Yeah, I want to see, just have you upped your sponsorship levels?
It's going to be a yes or no. We'll get the poll results here in just a sec. One other thing, I'm just keep going about the people piece and the right character from Shonda's question, and everyone's got experience with this as well and what they've seen, and I mentioned I'm stealing this from you. Great fundraisers don't ask, they invite. That was something that you taught me. Great fundraisers do a great job of inviting people in, and it tears down the walls of asking and the fear and trepidation that comes with asking for money, because that's what gives folks the most fear in life, frankly, right?
Because there's a weird thing in our culture. It's about asking for money. It's hard to do.
It is society.
And so whenever you say, well, you got to go out and ask for money. Well, then we may use that as a generic term, but really what you're doing is you're inviting people to be a part. And a great story that's true. A friend of ours went out he was going to go ask a guy. The deal was he was hoping to get a $50,000 a year commitment for 5 years, $250,000.
Casey. Yeah.
He went there. The first thing, he's meeting with the guy, and the first thing guy says, "Man, I'm glad you're here. Look, I'm not going to be able to do what I thought I wanted to do. My wife's on my rear end. We've got a bunch of commitments. We got stuff going on." In his mind, he's automatically thinking, well, maybe I can get $25,000. The guy came back and said, "Look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you $100,000 this year, and I'm going to commit to $100,000 for the next 5 years. But let's talk again next year, because I think I can do more." Yeah.
He didn't say a word.
He didn't say a word about money. He just wanted him to be a part. Here's what we're doing. Here's the thing. This is what we're trying to accomplish. Yeah. And how much do you want?
That was our friend Casey Smurthwaite raising money for the V Foundation.
Yep.
Prolific major gift.
Yeah. And,
so good.
And he said, and it's funny because he told us, he said, I'm so glad I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say something.
Oh my gosh. We could have a whole other conversation about the power of silence. Hey, Tamara had a great question about relationship building and grants. Love it, Tamara. Mm-hmm. We rely on a lot of grant funding. Our grant writer would like me to approach some foundations to introduce our org before we apply for a grant. Any tips on talking points? My first thing is, Tamara, the beautiful story that you just mentioned about your founder and the staying power and the work that you all do, and how lovely of a situation that is. So I think that's a lovely talking point. I'll let Jay expand on that as well.
I'm not sure,
story, Tamara. That's a cool story.
Well, I'm not sure I'm understanding. So I want to make sure I don't miss this.
Okay. Our grant writer would like me to approach some foundations to introduce our organization before we apply for any grants. Any tips? To find out what they look for when they give grants.
You can go sit there. It's like, okay, if I ever meet somebody on the street and I'm talking to them, they go, "Hey, Jason, what do you do?" "Well, I work with HGA Fundraising." "Really? What do you guys do?" "We help nonprofits raise more money." And sometimes they go, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go, "Oh man, hey, really, I'm on a board. What else do you guys do?" "Oh, well, we have the most profitable items in fundraising. We have a webinar podcast and we do free coaching. How can we help? We want to help you." So I'm starting a conversation. So if you've got somebody that's at a foundation, like there's an organization, there's a company, a private company here in Oklahoma that I know. They give 50% of their profits. It's a very, very small box, very defined box that they give all their money to. If it's outside of that box, they don't do it. Mm-hmm. So you need to find out what their box is.
We got to make sure they're, I know it's a buzz.
Yeah, there's got to be alignment.
And they give,
What do they look for? What are they trying to do?
Precisely.
And there is one of the things that I think was most surprising to me recently, we did a kind of a soft study, is there an emotional quotient in the boardroom, in the executive office, when a company makes a gift? And the answer resoundingly was yes. Even though they're thinking from a corporate standpoint, there's still an emotional component to the giving. There's either a connection that somebody in the board, somebody on the C-suite, the executive, that they have within that organization to that organization. Maybe it's because, hey, these guys are, we really want to help our community. This is very community based. Maybe it's for kids. Maybe it's for rare diseases. Maybe it's for something because they have a connection. And we find out time and time again that it is emotional. It's not about, and I think this is the most important thing that as a fundraiser that you've got to be cognizant of. It's not about what they get. It's about what they give, what they invest into. You've got to make it about that. That's why it's back to tying it to the mission. Yes, they do want, yeah, I do want a table. I do want that bottle of champagne. I do want my picture taken. I do want my logo on here. Yeah, I want that because that's part of it. But that's not the reason I'm doing it. The reason I'm doing it is because I just, I've got a nephew with rare diseases. It's really close to my heart. It's a big deal for me. And I want to be here and help. That's the kind of stories that you're going to find.
Yeah. I think sharing, obviously talking points are sharing the story. I'm a big story person. I think people are obviously as well. Very story driven and that can be obviously tied to the work that you all do, hopefully. I will say this. I do see, and we've had amazing grant writers come on before. Lynn Arsenault, McGinnity came on, LMA Consulting, great grant writer, great resource. You should reach out to her on LinkedIn as well. One thing I went to a board meeting for a local organization here, and they said, "Oh, our board's not helping us. Will you come and talk to them and this and that and the other thing?" And I was like, "Okay, what do you need?" Once again, it was like kind of like, what do we need? How much money do we need to go build the new trail is what it was. And then we got to pay for all the economic impact stuff with, I'm in California, so there's a lot of fees there and all that stuff. And I said, well, take me back. Like, what does it cost? How'd you get started? When you built your first trail, who'd you do it with? And it was like 2.5 years prior. And it was a local foundation. And they wrote him a check for like north of $40,000. And I said, have you asked them? And they said, no. I said, have you called them and said anything about what you're looking to do? And how? No. And now that was a gift. This foundation gives away a ton of grants. And I think it's a massive misstep that if you have received grants that you don't keep folks up to date with the work that their dollars are doing, right? So I think that's actually more common than we realize. Once again, that person, that organization, that foundation already wrote you a check. There's no reason in the world why they can't do it again. Right? I mean, it's like,
here's what happens. Here's what can happen in that foundation giving. They're going to sit there and go, you know what? We're tapped out, but let me tell you somebody I know that we need to talk to.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden they start connecting you to people. It's astounding to me that
I was blown away that they had never spoken to this organization that penned them the check. I was blown away. I was like, well, have you thought about asking them? I mean, they have an endowment that's in the hundreds of millions, if not more. It's wild. It's so wild. Yeah.
Hey,
more
questions. We got the poll results in.
The poll results. Two-thirds.
Can I just tell you something? I want to say something really quick about this.
Please.
There's no reason not to raise it up. None.
Everything else in the world.
We just went through the last 5 years of a huge inflation. Now that, they say, well, inflation's down. That doesn't mean prices are coming down. It just means they're not going up. Okay. Mm-hmm. They've already came up. Everything's more expensive. Everything costs more money. Everybody knows it. And so
wealth increased exponentially.
And I want to say, if thou doesn't, Jason's rule for fundraising, if thou does not ask, thou shalt not receive.
Yeah. It's so true.
And if anybody here, if you know anyone that's ever said, your top sponsorship was $25,000 and somebody came and said, I want to be a sponsor at $50,000, I want to talk to them. I want to know who that is. Because it's, it's like finding hen's teeth. Doesn't exist. So,
don't project economics on people.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a quick example. We had a young lady I was coaching. The most they'd ever asked for was $25,000. The most that they got received was $15,000. I encouraged her to said, just add a level above it, $50,000. I said, just see what happens. She called me, had tears in her eyes. She's kind of just weepy. She goes, I didn't know I didn't get $150,000. I got $2,000. And the guy that had been my $15,000 guy came up to $25,000. Yeah. So, and she said, I can't believe it. In one thing, they raised $125,000 over than anything that they ever done, just because they just put an opportunity out there for somebody to give at that level.
I got another question. Yeah. Hey, we're running low on time. We've got 10 minutes. I don't mean to speed on you on that one. Mm-hmm. Matt, love it. Neuro Giving, awesome. I haven't heard of it. Awesome. Tamara, thank you. The grant reporting is almost more important. Exactly. Keep folks, and they can give again. They can absolutely give again. I think it's a massively underutilized practice. We had a question. Courtney had a question. What's the best way to find the right auctioneer for my event?
Go to charityauctioneerswelove.com.
charityauctioneerswelove.com.
charityauctioneerswelove.com. Yeah.
Johnny is one of the charity auctioneers that we love. Matt Robin is another one of the charity auctioneers that we love. Johnny said, we call that a feeler level. Conducted this in November when we had a board member that did the fundraising, had achieved 35K at the most. I did a feeler at 75K and we got it. Put it out there. Y'all, you have nothing to lose. Put it out. You don't even have to.
I'll tell you a funny deal, and we'll ask Matt and Johnny. Are you afraid if you don't have if you don't have a commitment? Maybe that's what you're talking about there, Johnny. There's some auctioneers go, I think there's going to be $50,000 here tonight. Got no clue there is, and they just sit there. I watched a guy do it one night and got $50,000, and then he got a second gift for $50,000.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask for more. I mean, I think it's okay. Now, that doesn't mean you got to sit there and just bang away, because I know some auctioneers that are just scared to death. They're like, I will not ask if I don't have a confirmed commitment. I'm like, well, then why are you here for? I mean, I literally said that, and I'm being a little, I agree with what Matt and I know Johnny would say. Cheap auctioneers aren't good, and good auctioneers aren't cheap. You get what you pay for. And now there are exceptions to that. But I will tell you, you need to get somebody that knows what they're doing, because this is not child's play. This is serious stuff. You've put all this effort, hundreds of hours, thousands of dollars. You've gathered all these people into one place. And then you're going to put somebody on the microphone that you don't know is going to bring it home for you. It's like being in the Super Bowl, and then you've got your star quarterback, but instead of having them start,
you grab some kid from high school.
You get some high school kid to come out and be your deal. I mean, literally, it's that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're trying to raise $500,000 or $250,000 or $100,000, and you got somebody that's an amateur.
Yep.
And it's frightening what the deal it can absolutely go from, and a good auctioneer can make a great auctioneer can make an average event great.
Yep.
An average auctioneer can make a great auction bad.
Megan and Diana, reach out to me. Send me an email, Trevor at HGA Fundraising. Obviously, send me a DM on LinkedIn if you like as well, and we will connect you with someone in your area. That site is being updated every single day. So and we just launched it. It's brand new, and it's going to help a ton of people raise a ton of money. So be patient with us, everybody. And once again, if you need a recommendation, we got you. And we got 2 great auctioneers on right now as well. Margot had a great question. Love this question. Although I prefer less items, we usually end up with about 100 silent auction items for 500 or so guests. Oh, there's a lot going on in the chat. I'm sorry, y'all. Is there a recommended number, Jason? Our net is usually 350 to 400,000.
Gosh, there's all kinds of ways to answer that question. I'm because if I don't know exactly the event and how it is and what the character of it, I wouldn't want to say, well, you don't ever want to have more than, 10 people for every item or something like that. You got 500 people, you got 100 items, it's 5 to 1. If it works for your event, it works for your event. Maybe that's what they want to do. How much money is it? My question is always going to be, how much money is it raising? How much time is it taking? How much money is it raising? What are those kind of things? Those are the questions. I always start with the math. I always look at how much money do we have we made? How much money do we want to make? And then I want to break it down from there, because it's going to break into all those things. Pre-event fundraising. Are we hitting all of our numbers in pre-event fundraising? Are we getting our sponsorship levels? Are we getting everything done with our underwriting? The most underutilized thing is underwriting. Tens of thousands of dollars just waiting to be poured right into your event right there. Getting the right people in the room. If you do all those things, honestly, it doesn't matter if you got 10 items or 100 items in silent auction, you're going to raise more money. It's honestly, it comes down to that.
Yeah.
And then, having things like that. So
I understand the discrepancy in the numbers. Sorry, y'all. I thought you meant 350,000, 400,000 total for the event. I get it now. 35 to 45 for the silent. Awesome. Yeah, great.
Sign up for a coaching session. Let's talk about it.
No, I love that. Absolutely. And then Margo, you have a beautiful event, and y'all do a wonderful, wonderful job. I'm a big believer in, is that what your audience wants? For sure. Yeah. Right. Like, because the feedback that we get is, why'd you take away the silent auction? That was fun for me. Why'd you take away the silent auction? You can identify new mid-level donors and potentially major donors. I mean, massive. Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about that too. Sandy brought up one of the most beautiful points. It's going to go into like an auction event checklist that we're going to release. It's probably going to be ready in about 7 to 10 days. And it's also going to include Jason's event calculator as well, where he talks about what's your number goal, and then we'll work our way backwards. We'll punch these numbers in. You can do that on a coaching session with Jason as well. Jason invented an auction calculator, an event calculator. Yeah.
Well, it's a spreadsheet, but what it just lets you see all the sponsorship stuff. We're actually going to put it together where it's going to sit on our website, so anybody can use it. We just haven't got there. Inventor, dude. Don't call it hey, let me thanks. Hey, let me show you something real quick. Yeah. This is a trend we're seeing though with silent auction. In the past, silent auction was kind of where something went to die. We're seeing the silent auction we're seeing a trend of things bringing more money in the silent auction than the live auction. I said that again. More money is being raised in the silent auction than the live auction. It's a trend we're seeing when people do it. The reason is you've got somebody that shows up. You got some great stuff in the live auction, but there's nothing that they want. But then there's something in the silent auction that's spectacular. We had a guy show up. The most expensive item that was sold was a dog for $4,900. The most expensive item sold in the silent auction was a trip to the Mykonos, Greece, Mykonos Island. And it sold for $16,000. They netted more money off of that than what they netted with the dog that was for free in the live auction.
Hey, Matt, thank you. Thank you, by the way. We're going low on time. Sorry, brother. I don't mean to cut you off. Hey, Matt, thank you. Chris Hensley's amazing. He's a friend. Diana, I'm absolutely happy to make that introduction as well. He's been on 5 podcasts and webinars with us as a partner and a friend. And he'll come on as well, and he'll be on the panel discussion series that we're doing as well over the next month. Hey,
I got something real quick. CharityAuctioneersWeLove.com. Okay. Yeah. Go to that site. And if you see your favorite charity auctioneers not on there, send us an email and let us know. Yeah, we want to get them on there.
Yep. Love it. Love it. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. We got 2 more. We got 120 seconds. I have a winner. Hey, Jay, I have a winner.
Okay.
$1,000 in HGA bucks, and also a coaching session with Jason and talk about it. We have a winner here. Sandy sent it to me. Hang tight. Our producer. Thanks, Sandy. Everybody, do us a favor. Thanks, Sandy, if you don't mind. She's the one that makes this happen.
She keeps the wheels on the bus. There's no doubt.
And a brilliant fundraiser. Okay, Linda Arnold from Chris's Farm.
Hey, Linda.
Linda, thank you so much. Thanks for coming. You win. You're the big winner today. $1,000. Oh, yeah, cool. And an HGA bucks that you can use for an HGA auction item at your next event. Way to go. Awesome. And Sandy,
you won time with me, too. Hey.
Yeah, you're an inventor. So, yeah.
That's
hey, everybody. Can't thank you enough. We are, Jason and I are traveling next week, and we're going to take the week off, but we are going to be rocking. Hang tight. Let me get my dates right. We're going to be rocking on February 19th. Okay, so February 19th will be our next live webinar. Of course, we will have new podcasts. Hey Nonprofits dropping every Tuesday. And of course, reach out to us. Hey Nonprofits is powered by HGA Fundraising, the most profitable auction items in fundraising. And we're also the coolest people to work with. And we know the coolest people in the space, as you can tell in the chat as well. Hey, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Jay, thanks a ton. That was awesome.
Oh, man, so glad to be here.
Way too fast. Really, really cool. Appreciate y'all. And thanks so much. Linda, thanks so much. Congratulations. And we will be in touch. We'll see you all very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Have a good one. All right.
Bye-bye.